Alright, what is good, guys? Welcome back to the Mercom Outdoors YouTube channel. Today, as you can see, the title of this video, we are going to be breaking some rods down to you. Talking a lot about Trika. You've heard me talk about them plenty of times before, whether it's hard water or soft water. But it's been a little bit since we've really broke down rods, setups, the nitty-gritty of fishing in general. This is not just a bass fishing video. Yes, I do a lot of bass fishing. This is not just a tournament, setup video. Yes, I fish a lot of tournaments, but just for you average anglers, you shore anglers, your weekend warriors, all of them, this is for everybody. So stay tuned, watch till the end, watch what I'm catching fish on, watch what I'm using from Trika. These things work. I wouldn't be talking about them if they didn't, so stay tuned. First things first, we're gonna talk spinning rods. We're gonna get into my favorite two setups. I got two of the same rods here. I got a 610 medium light extra fast action, and I got two rods that are 7-foot medium. I believe they're extra fast action. So we're gonna start out with the 7-footer. I'm gonna show you what I'm throwing and what I'm catching just about everything on right now, and I'll get into a little bit other baits and setups I'm throwing as well. But for right now, I've got a 5/16 to 3/8 ounce drop shot on this, and I'm throwing that EWG style to like a larger finesse hook as my drop shot hook, and I'm tucking that in there to give me an advantage against the weeds. Throwing this in deep water for those real finicky summer bass. It's mid-July. The bite is tough. These fish are really hard to get to bite, and they're really hard to get to feel. And that's why I'm running that 6X, that Trika 6X series rod. You are going to love this for finesse fishing. You literally feel every little rock, every little tap, everything on this rod. I'm gonna go right into my second 7-footer. And on this rod, this is kind of my everything rod. When I'm bass fishing, I mostly have a wacky worm on this setup. I run 8-pound Power Pro for basically everything. This one, I'll run a 10-pound Power Pro, just a little heavier setup. I know I'm going to be fishing around weeds, and that's why. This setup and the last one, if I'm walleye fishing, these are going to be my little heavier jigs, my 3/8 ounce jigs, or even dragging a Lindy, what have you. If you're the everyday angler, whether you're fishing for walleyes, fishing from the bank, I keep saying it, whatever you are, this is going to be literally your setup. 6X Trika, or even a 3X Trika. If you're not willing to spend the, up to $300 on a rod like this, they do offer some non-break the bank, some affordable rods. So make sure you check that one out. It literally can throw just about anything on this rod. Another one here, this is the TI 3000 reel. You'll see me go throughout all these rods and reels, and I got a lot of Shimano 3000 size reels, which I absolutely love. But honestly, if you want a light reel, this is the reel to go with. Super light. I love the drag. Love the drag noise. I don't know why, but that's a big thing to me. It sounds great, feels great, and it performs great. This is literally the lightest setup I've ever held. This thing is fully out of aluminum, CNC machined out of aluminum. So check them out. That's my first spinning rod setup. All right, the next one we're going into here is the 610 medium light extra fast. Another drop shot here. This one is a smaller hook. I'm always throwing a smaller finesse hook. I'll throw some examples up here on kind of what I'm throwing. And then drop shot weight size, I'm throwing a 16th. I'm throwing 3/16ths, 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, and every once in a great while I'll be throwing a 5/16ths on this setup as well. Very similar to the last one, just throwing finesse baits. The other setup I have here is usually what I'm throwing, like my smaller Ned rigs, my 1/8 ounce Ned rigs, really light Nikos. This rod is literally the best minnow rod. I'm a big proponent on the smaller rods. That way you can underhand cast and you're not hitting the water, you're not hitting the gunnel of your boat. So if you're, and it can handle, you know, a 3/8 size ball head jig, or your walleye jig, your 3/8 walleye jig, and it can handle those 6 and 7 inch minnows just fine. I've got plenty of big pike on here, plenty of 5-pound bass, 5-pound smallies. This rod can also do it all, but just a little bit more specific. If you're more of an advanced angler, you want that minnow scoping rod, here it is right here. All right, if you're looking for a bait caster, this side of the video is for you. I'm going to break down 3 bait caster setups, 2 very similar rods. The first rod I'm going to go into here is something everybody should have tied up, just a plain old jig. I'm on this setup here, another 6X. We are running a 7.3 medium heavy fast action rod. I'm throwing at the most a 3/4 ounce jig on here. Right now I got a football jig, but this is kind of my dock skipping rod. Anytime I'm skipping or throwing a football head jig, that's what I'm using this rod for. It's got enough backbone, it's heavy enough to pull fish from under docks and, you know, minor weed cover, but it also gives you that castability, that whip, that fast tip to get your bait underneath docks, make accurate casts. I absolutely adore this rod, and I'm pairing it up with my favorite reel, the TI 100. This reel is literally the lightest bait casting reel I've ever felt. These are it's just a great pair together if you're looking for any type of pretty much an everyday rod for bass fishing, bait caster setup. This is going to do the trick for most occasions. If you're flipping real heavy cover and whatnot, you might run into some issues, but you can definitely make it work. All right, next setup. We got 2 of the same rods here, but 2 different setups. This guy is another 7.3. This is our heavy power fast action. This rod isn't quite a broomstick, but I love the action on this rod. A lot of people want a super stiff rod and they can't feel the bite when they're flipping weeds, all that stuff. They can't hold fish with a broomstick. Here's your all-around perfect rod for that. I'm throwing anything from like a 1 1/4 ounce bullet weight on here. I mean, I'm obviously going down from that all the way down to a 3/8. Big old 3/0 flipping hook on here. I'm throwing 1 ounce flipping jig on here too for flipping heavy cover. This is my heavy cover rod. Frog, light frog cover, another good action. That fast action rod tip holds my fish on. I'm not worried about them. But the name of the game here is sensitivity. Everybody complains, oh, I want a stiffer rod so I can feel blah, 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 blah. You don't need that with Trika. The sensitivity on all these rods I'm talking about today from Trika are unbelievable, but especially when you're flipping heavy cover and running heavy cover on anything on a bait caster, that 7.3 is going to be that perfect setup for you. All right, second setup, same rod, same exact 7.3 heavy fast action. If you're from the north, you're probably very familiar with a chicken jig. This is the Outcast version. Super fun bait to fish, especially in this mid-summer July pattern, deep water. Great rod for that. It's kind of a specific tactic, so I'm not going to get super deep into it, but the other setups that I like throwing on here is I'm going to interchange both of these rods, flipping setup and this setup. I'm going to interchange both of these rods with jigs. If I've got fluorocarbon on here, I'm throwing big swim baits on some of these rods as well. A-rigs in the fall. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please go check everything out down below. Like I've said, make sure you check out Trika rods. These rods are the most sensitive rods that I've ever touched. They're light, they're sensitive. Make sure you go check out their reels too. A lot of people don't know that they do have reels. Their baitcasters are great reels, honestly. You don't need to lube these things like you do everything else. They're all aluminum. If you're gonna run a real heavy setup, I've heard a lot of guys talking about how fatigued they are from running a big broomstick rod all day. Head over to Trika, get yourself a light rod, a light reel. All right, once again, thank you for watching. Go check my socials once again. Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you go watch some of my other videos, all linked in the description.